and welcome each and every one of you. With you today is me, Diagonal Linguistic International Coach Therapist from DCTcentre, and joining me again is Morganne Rayne, spiritual consultant gratefully providing access to higher dimensions of being. Morganne has been called the healer of healers as way to describe the unique spiritual tools she shares. Morgan is here to serve those who seek great understanding of their desire to integrate the consciousness in their 3D world. So she is with us again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good morning. It's
We are waiting. We are waiting for one guest. Hopefully, she will manage to come to us.
Yep.
We waiting for the Jeanne Reina to join us, but we start get on and then let's see what's happened.
Perfect. She says she's working it out. So we'll just give her just.
She first time doing so. We do understand that something when you're doing for first time, it's not very easy.
Yeah, right. It isn't. But I'm so glad to be here today. There's a lot going on in our world for sure, and the thing is, though, to not put our attention on what's happening out in the world, although it's a reflection of what's going on within. So I like to use that, and and your guests know that if they've been here for a while, that I look at things metaphorically. Like, okay, if I see it out in the world, what is it within me that is calling to be healed or come to peace or lift my frequency or whatever? So I was really hoping, and I know Jeanne will get on. There's a lot we can talk about with Jeanne in that realm. But yeah, there's a lot going on in our world for sure.
At the moment, as far as I understand, there will be another upgrade coming up for Starfleet and
Yeah.
change of uh, projects, change of missions, really.
Yep. Yep. I agree with that. We've been in a big, huge upgrade period. It was, I tell you what, my dreams are just very technicolor and graphic, and it's very interesting, the dream states I've had. Um, yeah. Yeah, big upgrades.
Big upgrades, and I in my dreams now, I all the time doing something. I'm solving something, doing something. It really feels like there is like scenes from my past, but it's
Mhm.
like I feel like I'm saying goodbye to this scene. Sort of like, okay, you dealt with it. Okay, let's go to next one. It's really like all my life scenes is like coming up at night time,
Mhm.
and I'm letting them go one by one.
Mhm. Mhm. Well,
So
that's brilliant to use your dreams that way. That's how I use my dreams to really sit back and look at all the work I did during the night.
yes, but that doesn't mean I'm waking up like ready to go. Yeah.
Exactly. It's slogging through it. It really,
Mhm.
it's that's what it feels like. It feels. I've had a couple of mornings where I woke up and go, yes, but lately it's trying to climb out of that dream state. Really working with the messages that come through that dream state. It's really reflecting a lot what's happening in the world, which is really interesting. So I use those opportunities to look at what's happening outside as ways of lifting my frequency, bringing more awareness, because I don't want to come into agreement with all the bad stuff that's happening in the world, or the stuff. I'm not going to label it bad or good. We don't know what it is, but but if it feels low frequency, then I'm going to lift my frequency. If it feels like hate and divisiveness, I'm going to lift my frequency. It's interesting. I spent a couple of days with a friend of mine who actually has very divisive language. And it's I love her, and I go ahead and spend time with her, but I kind of already know I got to um, pretty much I know that this language is going to come up, this divisiveness, this actually hate rhetoric will come up. And something came up uh, during my visit, and it was she actually said, I wish Trump was dead. And I went, you don't mean that. She goes, oh, I do mean that. I go, I go, I don't mean, I said, you really don't mean that. But it's like, she does mean that, right? So for me to, and I left shortly after, which it was good for my soul, right? I don't wish anyone did. I don't know if Trump's a good guy, a bad guy. I don't know. And that's not for me to discern. My whole point on being here is about bringing unconditional love, helping us remember, lift our frequencies, despite all that's going on in the world. And to sit and wish someone dead, or hate that much, I have to use a lot of energy to bring my frequency back up. Why would I sit with somebody like that? Well, I love her. So when you love someone, um, and I just sit with her and actually know the truth about her, myself, whoever she's speaking about. So it's interesting how I'll use the world as a feedback mechanism or a barometer for the work I should do during the day. So
I talking about what your friend is saying, wishing somebody dead. Yeah,
mhm,
I usually say my clients, because I work with many people who are saying about parents or
yeah,
work colleagues or
yep,
whatever, whoever done the harm. Yeah, I
yep,
wish him dead. I wish that. I wish this one. It's like, but you imagine that you drinking poison now. Yeah,
yep,
and you hoping that that person will die.
yep.
It's not going to happen. You will die drinking this poison.
That's right. You drink the consciousness. You're the one. You're it, right? Um,
Yes,
and
exactly.
yeah, and we don't want that for them. And it's like, but we can't make them change, right?
No,
And it's,
all I'm doing is trying to let them understand, to send them love,
yeah.
send them healing.
Well, what cracks me up is how much space they take up for that hatred, right? Just the whole energy of it, and people wonder why their lives are really wanky. But when you hold that much hatred and divisiveness and anger, that's your frequency. Yes,
And
we.
when you watch news, don't forget about watching news.
Yeah. Well, I don't do that. So
No,
so
but I don't either.
but not but even not doing that, um news comes, right? Things come. And I say those are the things that are brought before me to work with, or to heal, or whatever. And I'd love it if more people were like me, because this gets to be hard work after a while, because there's so much going on in our world. And yeah.
Yes, at the moment is really. I just started work with some client who she is not in good place, but she revealed to me in our very first session that she like everything about dark. She is creative. She, um, let's say, she has some kind um, filmmaking skills or something. She done projects in amateur filmmaking, yeah, and all her project was dark, was about visiting cemeteries in scary places, was about visiting actually lockdown places like prisons. There is um, different kind of killers and having interviews with those killers, and she like all this darkness, yeah, but same time she sort of says that she understands that they have this positiveness in them as well, but all this darkness fascinates her, and she loves to do her whatever art it is she does, yeah, about darkness.
Interesting.
and I am, to be honest, at the moment, I'm like, I have no idea what to do next about her, yeah, because everything what I'm putting people on is part of love and life, part of unconditional love,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And now I am speaking with somebody who gets fascinated by black, dark, negative power, yeah. And for me, okay, I can try put light on it, but still, I don't know how to work with this class, to be honest.
Hmm. Hmm.
Do you have any ideas how to work
Well,
with like?
that's and I wish Jeannie was here because she's actually got expertise in this area, working in that kind of realm. But for me, it's like I kind of meet the person where they are, and if they're working stuff out through the darkness, well, maybe they're just this lifetime around, they're doing a lot of deep shadow work, right? So shadow work is work that we have to do in this lifetime. If we don't do the shadow work, that we do that in Course of Miracles, right? It's like, what's the issue? What's going on? And to look at those issues, and that in itself is casting light on it. So in a strange kind of way, she's casting light on the darkness by giving it some attention and figuring it out and giving it a voice, because sometimes our dark stuff inside of us, it are those aspects of us where we haven't had a voice, and it becomes dark. It becomes that way. So it's interesting when people do their work through the shadow. Um, it's a way, it's not for me to judge their way, um, as long as they are getting to the place where they are at peace within their own selves.
Yeah, I've been one of my friend's sons. Yeah, I've been visiting my friend, and she showed me her son's room, and her son's room was completely and utterly black. Everything, all pictures was very violent on it. Everything in dark black colors.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I understand that guy. I do understand more because I know my friend. I know more about this guy. Yeah, so so there I have more understanding, but about this client I don't have yet.
Well,
So
it's just being present, and staying in your own truth and in your light, so that this person can have a platform to work out what it is, but you're holding the consciousness of the light. So you're doing great in that. I've been with some real dark energies before when I've worked with people, and I've been with people who flat out had.
Excuse me, Jeannie, have you came to us? You watching us now? If
Is
yes, then please say hello and please log in. Doesn't matter that we started show. We
oh
will
yeah, no,
waiting
no, no.
for
Come on
you.
in. Come on in.
Come
Is
on
she
in. No,
is she in YouTube?
no, off. She probably it wasn't her. Somebody else
Yeah,
probably because
awesome. So yeah, so you know, doing the shadow work is important. Sometimes people get stuck in that, right? It's mainly because their frequencies are so far down, um, so low.
yes, Jeannie. I'm sorry, I cannot seem to get in.
Oh,
Try, please try. Because we waiting for you. Doesn't matter to we start. We do waiting for you to get in. Just press on this link. It has to connect with us.
and does it work through MacBook? I think that's what she has, a MacBook.
It's usually nobody of my guests have problems. Maybe need download the app on it.
Oh,
Yeah. Because I tell her because the first time is possibility, but again, I think I had only one or two people who needed to download. All rest of my guests haven't.
okay. So guidance just poked on me to pull a card. So we'll do that while we're waiting. Um,
Yeah, Ginny, please try. Maybe you need download the app.
and I don't want to try to make something happen if it's not correct at this time for her to join us. Another time will work too. So,
Exactly.
all right. Well, I don't know why I was encouraged to pull a card. I think it's because we're talking about the darkness. But let's see what the universe is wanting to speak through us about this. And if Jeannie can get on, that would be fabulous.
That would be great. Even with her, if she stays, watches us now, even if you can put your input in message about how to deal with this client who uh, really loves darkness, just gets fascinated with darkness and scary things.
I don't know. I get a really interesting card here. It says walk the flower path. I'll read what it says. It's interesting.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know who this is for, but it's called Walk the Flower Path. When the world of should weighs you down, pinning you to a reality too small for you, remember the flowers. They bloom not as a matter of effort, but as a matter of essence. They don't uproot themselves looking for the prettiest bees or travel from yard to yard looking for the best sun and soil. They don't go from person to person seeking approval for their beauty or their fragrance. They stay centered in their plot of ground and let their allies and pollinators come to them. They allow those who would see and appreciate their beauty to come to them, and those who don't can just walk on by. This is the realm of beingness rather than striving. And this current moment is an invitation to walk the flower path. That's so beautiful. So that I mean, that covers a topic we've talked about before, being versus doing, right? So we call ourselves human beings, but actually we are more like human doings. We're always trying to make stuff happen rather than just sitting present to where we are and allowing the essence of it to just unfold from us. And it's an interesting concept, right? So like for your person who is focused on the darkness, allow them to be present right where they are, because if they go seeking, or you try to make them see something else, you can be something else. You can be that light flower, that essence. But the truth is that where we are is our perfect spot. Don't try to run around finding the perfect spot. Be present to right where you are, because right where you are is where you're to bloom. There's a saying, bloom where you're planted. Bloom where you're planted.
But then I have to go back to Latvia.
No, well, you move. Yeah, it's true. I'm going back home next week. I go back to my home. But this is where Spirit brought you to the UK. That's where you're planted. You're planted there.
Maybe really spirit is planting me here. Maybe I I still thinking about why happens what I'm sorry, Jeannie is writing for us. When someone really enjoys the darkness, it could be from early childhood where they encountered it generationally or
Yeah,
past lives, as some believe. We are here to heal the darkness, watching darkness. I think we really now we are on the same page. Um, Enables it to grow and you become desensitized. Uh, I think we are at the moment all three of us on the same page. To really sit with her and let her explore this.
yeah, because the thing is too, we get used to the feelings, right? I call it being addicted to it, right? We get addicted to those, and especially with generational pieces. I'll just kind of chime in on what she's talking about there. With generational and ancestral patterns of darkness or grief or sadness, or if there's generations of ancestry that have been impoverished or whatever, it's harder to get out from under that, because it's like imbued in your DNA. But the thing is, we also have the presence of the light in our DNA, God in our DNA. And so for those of us who have come on the planet at this time, you and Jeannie and me, we come because we remember it. And I don't know about you, but I do know for me and Jeannie, we had to lift ourselves up from darkness, but we were the presence of light anyway in that darkness. So it's like we were planted in the darkness to be the light. It's like we're these beautiful light bulbs for people to uh, think something different or choose something different. Choose love. And me, for like with my friend that was talking about that hatred. Um, Challenge it. It's like, you don't believe that. Well, yeah, I do. Well, maybe that's true for her. She maybe believe that, right? And want that. But it also gives me a clue about, do I want to continue to associate with someone who wants to hold on to hatred, right? So basically, I think that hatred is all about fear, and darkness too. It's all fear. It's all fear.
Uh,
Go ahead.
Sorry, there is more Jeannie's input. It is important to you work on your own darkness inside you, meaning any triggers you may have. When we work on our own triggers, it helps us let go of darkness and come more into light. And she feels planted with you all too. Yes, exactly. I'm absolutely sure that us meeting up is not anything which not planted. It's not coincidence, most definitely not.
That's right. It's definitely not. It's like, I think that, well, one, I feel too, it's good for those who are gravitating towards one another, because it also helps each of us. It's kind of like, it boosts us, right? It gives us a little more juice, a little more courage, a little more. It's good to it's good to have the alignment with those who think similarly, and can assist on this, and can have these kind of open conversations about darkness, and about people that are going through darkness. How powerful is this, that we can sit and have these conversations? I'm sure in centuries gone by we would have been hung at the stake or burned at the stake, not today. We are here. We are light. We remember, and it's our job to speak it out, clear out that throat chakra, and have the courage to speak into the darkness the truth of light. That's when you light. If you go into a dark room, if you just light a little tiny candle, the darkness is gone. It's just the absence of light. So bring the light. So be the light, right? It's like the walk the flower path is just telling me that you be who you are, right? You be it. You grow where you are. You do what's planted inside of you, no matter what that is.
Yeah, exactly. Jeannie, you still cannot come to us.
No.
Jeannie, come on. Uh, and we have Kathy. She feels planted with us too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kathy Gisborne as well is joining us.
Oh,
Thank you,
beautiful.
Kathy. Can you
Welcome.
tell more about yourself, maybe? Maybe you have some questions. That would be great. We are waiting for
And
any of your input.
I just want to say this too. Why would we choose to be planted at this time on this planet with everything that's going on, right? We're probably at the most greatest upheaval in that we've had, in many maybe centuries, right? And and sometimes sometimes I'll fuss at God and say, "What were you thinking? Like, really? Is this it, right?" And I remember thinking that even as a little kid, like, "Oh, this must be a mistake." And no, it's not. It's really to we are each, and I really believe we chose and we are chosen to be here at this time. And I think we who are of the light said, we will go, we will be the light, we will help others remember, we will bring the truth, we will shed the light, we will walk them down the path. And the only way we can do that too, as Jeannie was saying, we must do our own shadow work. We must all clear that out, because we'll carry that, especially the generational stuff. We'll carry that, and that's where we go. That's why I love using the line, "Is this mine? Is this mine?" Like when something, "Is this mine? Does this belong to me?" And it's a good question.
I usually ask, who does belong to?
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it doesn't belong to. It's mine or somebody else's. To be honest, I think my training as well give me huge help with that because when you learning, as Jeannie probably will agree with me, as you learning psychology, psychotherapy, and so on, you have to do these mock sessions.
Hmm.
Yeah, you constantly have to make do therapy sessions with your peers.
Yep.
Yeah, changing around in the groups and everything. And I think, and on top of that, to actually accomplish, finish course and get diploma, I needed to go through 40 therapy sessions with professional counselor. Yeah. So, so it's not like it gives you just piece of paper for looking nice and smile. Yeah. It's really you working through this, you working through, you bringing up everything what is in you.
Yep.
The moment when I finished all my courses, I was like, I don't have anything to talk about. Leave me alone. I have no idea what to say.
Yeah.
And then you go to therapy, and again, actually, that is something to say. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. You know what you're reminding me of is Course in Miracles, where we talk about
Yes, yes,
she's
yes.
in.
Hello, hello, hello,
I'm so sorry.
hello, don't be.
Yeah, no,
Welcome.
Chrome, and I kept on doing it.
Brilliant,
It's still not.
brilliant. I'm so
Well,
glad you managed to make it.
Sorry about
Okay, and now we have Jeannie with us. And Jeannie, maybe tell yourself about yourself, why we are so excited to have you with us.
I've done a lot of work on trauma, studying trauma and all what's um, everything about it. And I also work with um, I worked with vets. I worked with homeless people. I I also work with um, different when people have bad energy, removing the energy, removing the thought forms, all that stuff. So we can have something come into us that's not really ours, and I help remove it. Um, so there's all different ways of darkness, but usually, if people enjoy the darkness, it means they have darkness in them that they haven't released yet, and it's a matter of just finding it out. And the easiest way is through triggers to remove those darkness. Like when you get triggered, there's something. It's people think, oh well, it doesn't have anything to do with darkness, but where if you keep on going deeper and deeper, you will bring out the darkness, and what we're really doing is getting into the unconscious and either childhood stuff or generational stuff, and having the being able to speak to that area wherever it lives in your body. And it's really fascinating work, but it takes time. It's not like a one and done thing. It takes some time to do the work, and you have to be really committed to it. And there's a lot of people that are committed to it, and a lot of people are afraid of it, like to go. But when you're afraid of it, it's you're blocking yourself, because I'll tell you this: whenever the darkness came into you, it's like soul fragmented, but the opposite way. But whenever the darkness came into you, it's usually at a much younger age, and when that happens, you get stuck there. You freeze and you get stuck, and until you're able to um, get to that early inner child stuff, um, or a part, and see how old the part is, you're gonna you're gonna keep on having the same experience. It's not until you get really deep and get to the origin of the trigger, that, or whatever you want to call, whatever the problem is, to be able to give that part that, like, it could be 3, it could be 5 years old, it could be all different ages. Whatever the age is, it's like you talk with it at that age, and you're able to give that age the missing experience that it didn't have as a child. You know, so you're giving it what it needed at the time.
Yep.
And that's incredible healing that happens.
Yep.
When what it does is, when you talk with it at that age, you tell it how old you are now, and you're giving it, you're able to give it, your older self can help the younger self. You know, the age that you are now, you can go back and help that younger part that's really hurting, and give it, like, kind of be the mother or the father of that part, and give it the experience that it didn't have. Because and what I say to my clients is, there's no the younger part of you can do no wrong. Like, whatever it needs to do, like, there's no wrong here. It's just they need to express it the way they need to do it to get it out. And once they express it any way they need to, and you witness them as pure love, they're gonna be able to heal that. So when they release it, they're releasing all that energy that's coming out. I mean, it's really good work. You know, if everybody did their work, we'd live in a great world.
Yeah, I love what you're saying, Jeannie. I just totally love it. And it reminds me too of Course in Miracles, where we talk about how we arrive in our families and arrive on this planet with whatever is going on. Those are the issues that we've arrived with to heal, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
No matter what kind of family you ended up in, a crazy family, whatever was going on, it's here again, we're going to go bloom where you're planted, right? So where you arrive, you're fully intact with all your issues, but you're also fully intact with all that it takes to heal that. And usually what we're doing is we are not only just healing this life, we're healing generations, we're healing ancestors, so that we can pave the path for the descendants to walk a more light path, a beautiful path, a conscious path. So we're coming out of the age of darkness, but I'll tell you, darkness will dig in and want to hang on, right? And the thing is, with darkness, that again, you light one little candle in a dark room, it's gone, right? So, and that's why we come as light beings, light workers, star seeds, whatever label we want, healers. We're bringing and helping, bringing the light, shining the light on the subject, shining the light on what's going on for people. So the work you do is just so powerful. I've watched you over the years, especially the work you're doing with homeless people. That's incredible, because they've hit bottom, right? Their darkness has consumed them. And for you to have the courage to stand in front of that darkness and be present as light, it has been just, I'm in awe of what you do. Not everybody can do that kind of work that you do, but you were, again, Jeannie's chosen to do that. And she said, okay, I can do that. I can be with these who have totally forgotten and help them remember.
And the thing about that is, I mean, it's a two-way street with homelessness. It's they could have forgotten the darkness, but the fact that society ignores them and doesn't pay attention to them, and what heals is love. And so when we ignore the homeless and ignore other people that where we judge them, that's all our own work. Like we need to work on our judgment. We need to work on why, like what the story we're telling ourselves about the homeless, like that's all our own darkness inside of
Yeah.
us. And so until we heal that, we're going to still continue to have the homeless, because nothing, what homelessness is that they have not been loved. Like, they've never really experienced love, because if they did, or they're addicted, which is a whole different thing. But if they did, they would always have that love inside of them, regardless of whether the person's still around that loved them or anything. But so it's up to us to show them love and care, so they can move on, because they're just that darkness, like love is light, and so that darkness is just going on them, like not only from themselves but from us, our judgment, or whatever we're
Yep.
saying.
Yep.
And so it's incredibly important, if we want to help the homeless at all. It's the most important thing you can do, is give them a respect.
Absolutely. It brings up that beautiful word that I've talked about before, is worthiness, right? Our worth, or our lack of worth, right? And in the unhoused, or in the homeless, their perception of their worth is pretty low.
Absolutely.
And so when we cultivate that worthiness within ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are then able to behold this one in front of us, right, as worthy, as love, as the, I'll go back to that story. I've told it, and I know both you ladies have heard it, but for our audience, there was a period of time where I decided to take care of little kids so I could be with my own little kids. And one day a little girl asked me, what's God? Who's God? What is God? Right? So what a beautiful question for a little kid to ask. And I said, well, God is everything. God is everyone. God is everywhere. It's everywhere, present at all times. And we just kind of went into this. Is this God? Yes, this is God. Is she God? Yes, she's God. And then that afternoon, we went into the big city, into Seattle, to go to the aquarium that afternoon. And it was hot. And I had the windows rolled down. And as we're going through town, we see homelessness, right? We see people who have shopping carts, and they're dirty, and they're on the street, right? And I was at a stoplight, and you could literally smell it. I mean, you could just smell the consciousness. And so I rolled up the window, and the little girl had asked me earlier about who's God. She looked, she goes, look, Morganne, there's God.
Yeah.
So I'm so grateful that I teach it, so I can come back around, right? So that we begin to look with those eyes, that remembering that who we behold is the life of God, the life of love. It's who we behold. And that's why we're the light workers, because we remember, for the most part, we remember it. Can we forget? Heck yeah, we can forget, right? Because what you were just saying, our judgments. That's what we need to heal, is our judgments that we hold against people. Those judgments are keeping us trapped and imprisoned in a very negative cycle. Um, I Gosh, if we could just all behold the homeless and remember and wake up.
Right. And one way, I mean, people judge them, like all. I always hear people judging them. One of the things is about, what I say is, there by the grace of God go I, because I don't care who you are. There are people that were really, really wealthy and lost everything, and they were homeless. I mean, you just never know. You know, we ought to be that way. Like people, they say a lot of people are living one paycheck away from homelessness, and it's incredible how much we ignore the problem and don't want to look at it. And yet, but that's where our work is. Like when we want to find, okay, where's our work? It's like, where are we judging? And homelessness is a perfect place to say, how am I treating these people? And how am I giving them respect? Am I seeing them the love, and the light that we're all born with, and they just forgotten, and so it's our job to reflect that to them, so they know that's who they are.
Mhm.
So interesting. You working with homeless people. I 2 years, my very first what I start doing. 2 years I've been working with homelessness. I've been working in the YMCA.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I as well have experience about how to work with those people.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. I think it's time for our meditation, Morganne. What are higher selves and Creator and Holy Spirit is giving us today?
Well, we'll see. It's not illumined to me, but let's get anchored because it'll drop in here. So I'm just going to invite everyone to just get real present and even present to the conversation that we're having, because there's no mistake that we're having this conversation at this time. So I invite you to take a breath in. And then just let that breath go fully and completely from your body temple. Don't hold on to any of it. Just let it go. And then let's take another breath in. And I'd like for you to fully embrace it. When you take this breath in, embrace it fully. Every speck of the breath you bring in, embrace it, welcome it in, and let it integrate. Take a breath in. And on the breath out, fully let it go. And just check into your body, your mind, your feelings. Are you here? Are you present with us? Or are you contemplating an issue? And if you are, I ask you to just choose for a moment to just put it aside. It'll still be there if you choose to pick it up. Just put it aside. And allow yourself just a few moments to just be present. Present to your breath, present to your body, present to how you feel. There's value in just being present to self. And if you find yourself trying to wander away, bring yourself back by your breath with your intention to just be present to where you are and what's going on within you. Take your attention away from the world and its issues and place your attention on self. Grow within yourself your own value, your worth. Take a breath in. And how do we grow that value and that worth? by putting our attention on love, and not just any kind of love, but unconditional love. Contemplate what it would be like to be loved unconditionally. Just take a moment and think about that. What would it be like for you in your body if you were loved unconditionally? How would your body feel? And if you were loved unconditionally, what kind of thoughts might you be having if you were loved unconditionally? And how would you feel if you were and you knew you were loved unconditionally? And just feel into what that would feel like and look like as you begin to bring that frequency and that energy to your personal matrix of being, to fill into your matrix of being the consciousness of unconditional love. And now think about you being the source of unconditional love. How would you experience yourself if you were the source of that unconditional love? Take a breath in. And we'll start by loving ourselves unconditionally. Unconditionally love yourself at the family of origin you arrived into. Choosing to love yourself unconditionally. And choosing to love all of those you arrived with that same unconditional love, just loving. How would you feel if you're the originator of unconditional love? And if the ideas of, oh, but I make mistakes and I'm a sinner or whatever it is, okay, I still love myself unconditionally. Now, as the source of unconditional love, I'd like for everyone to choose someone that it's been very difficult to love. And in that choosing of someone that is so difficult to love, imagine what it'd be like to just love them unconditionally anyway. And it could be someone that might have been an abuser. Can you have compassion for this one? Can you love them unconditionally anyway? Can you choose to love? Because it's really a choice to love or to fear. So I invite you to allow that consciousness of unconditional love to just come into your heart and to begin to generate unconditional thoughts towards this one, unconditional loving thoughts. And begin to generate unconditional loving feelings towards this one. Just allow that one that you called up to just now move away from your scene here and bring your attention back to yourself. How did it feel to be the source of unconditional love? How do you hold yourself now as the source of that unconditional love? And I invite you to have that consciousness of unconditional love to move into your eyes so that all that you look upon this day can be looked upon with love. Every person you meet today can be seen through these eyes of unconditional love. Take a breath in. As we choose to be this awareness, this consciousness, we change within our own beingness. As we change within our own beingness, we affect all others. We become the tuning fork of unconditional love and light. It is why we've come. It is why we are here. It is who we are. And if you hear my voice, it is who you are. Take a breath in. And just allow who you are to come fully present. Lock that into your body. Lock that into your soul. Lock that into your life experience here. We might say, oh, I'm a healer, I'm a light being. Yes. Whatever label you want to put on it. Come present to it. As we, the living lights of unconditional love, go forth and bless our world, I ask that Divine Spirit guide us each, protect us, guard us, and grant us each wisdom. I ask that each of us are guided in the way of where we need to be at the right time. Bring to us those who need to awaken and remember who they are and that they are loved unconditionally. And so, for the teachings of this day, for the wisdom, for the words that have been spoken, I give thanks. As we move to awaken and remember our own value, our own worth, our own unconditional love, so that we may share that with our world and help others. And so it is with loving light that I send us all forth to be the presence of that love, that light, that joy, that bliss. And so it is. Breath in, come back,
Okay. Jeannie, do you have something to say after this?
No, I'm just grateful to be on this call, and yeah, I think the work that you two do is just amazing, and I feel honored to be a part of it for this session.
Thank you very much. You've been very, very great part of the DCTcentre show. And I do hope you come back to us many times more.
Thank you.
For all our viewers, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget like, share, subscribe to my YouTube video channel so we can manage share all our love and light to everyone around us. And to the next time, next week, and God bless.